So we're doing 3 function applications today. We're going to talk about simple interest. That means that you put your money in the bank, and the bank is glad that you chose them, because you can go to Chase, you could go to Bank of America, you could go to Wells Fargo. I'm a teacher. I go to Schools First. So you have choices, and the banks want you to choose them. So they open up branches that have convenient locations, and they, advertise or say, free checking or free da-da-da. So the whole point is to get you to be their customer and not the other bank's customer. So that's simple interest. So we're going to start with that. And for this, I have a formula that we're going to use, and I need to explain every single part of this formula. Okay, here's the formula that banks use to calculate interest. Interest is the money that the bank gives you for choosing them. So when you have your money in a checking account or in a savings account, every month or maybe 6 months or every year, the bank will give you $2 extra or something. And it really depends on how much money you have in your bank account. Maybe they'll only give you 35 cents. But it just kind of is their way of saying, hey, thanks, you made money. You made 35 cents this month by keeping your money with us. It's an investment that you make, and you earn money back. That's called interest. So here is my formula. Put it in the box on top. That stands, okay, let me do first. I equals P times R times T. My T is curvy. Okay, here's what each word means. And I'm going to write real skinny. Interest. That's your money that you earn. P is called principal. That's the money that you put in the bank. We call that investing. You put money into the bank. That's your principal. So I'm going to put $100 in the bank. My principal is $100. R, my interest rate. Interest rates are always a percentage, but we write them as a decimal when we do our math. So a bank might say, we have a special interest rate of 2%. And then that's their way of trying to lure you into their bank and invest with them. Then there's T. T is time. Okay? So here's what I want to do real quick. All right. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to multiply a lot. You're going to have to multiply how much money you invest, my P, my principal, times the interest rate. Put in decimal form, times time. Time is always BTW, year format. Okay, so if it says 30 days, you're not going to multiply by 30. You're going to have to figure out 30 days is what portion of a year. Always years. So now we're going to do some math. And if you have a calculator that's a calculator, not a phone calculator, then you can get out your calculator. I also have some. All right. Suppose a bank is offering its customers 3% interest on savings accounts. That's really good. If a customer deposits $1,500 in the account, how much interest does the customer earn in 2 years, in 5 years, in 7 years? Okay. So I need to do 3 math problems right now. I need to do 2 years, and then I need to do 5 years, and then I need to do 7 years. So we're going to actually have people working on this, but I got to learn how to set it up. I want to know how much money the bank is going to give me back. That's called interest. So I'm going to multiply P times R, interest rate, times T. What is the amount of money that I am investing into the bank? How much?
1,500.
1,500. multiplied by. In decimal form, how do I change 3%?
0.03.
0.03. You could put let me draw little X's, you guys. I don't want you to think my multiply is a decimal point. What's my time? How long first?
2 years.
2 years. Can I have somebody do the same thing for 5 and somebody do the same thing for 7? 1,500 times 0.03 times 5, and then someone else do 7. Okay. If I keep my money in the bank for 2 years, that means I can't touch it. I can't withdraw. And even if I deposit and add money to it, my answer is going to change. So let's just pretend we're going to ignore it for 2 years. Okay? What is the answer to the 2 years?
$90.
$90.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You just made $90 and you did nothing at all. Just let your money sit there. That's sweet. Okay, let's say I decide to leave it there for 5 years. Did someone do 5? 225? Even better. $225. I did nothing. The money just sat there. How about 7 years?
315.
You could say it in math. $315. Okay. Great. So the process of, this math is you multiply how much money you put in the bank. You multiply by the interest rate, and you multiply by how many years. I am moving on to the next example. Jamie wants to earn, $500 in interest so that she'll have enough money to buy a used car. What kind of used car? Oh, she puts $2,000 in the account. Okay, here's the deal. She's going to put money into the account. $2,000. That's my P. She wants to earn 500. Where does 500 go? That's what she wants. The I. So you're actually going to put 500 over here on the left instead of I. What is my interest rate? What is Jamie's interest rate?
2.5.
Okay, here's upper right corner, guys, look. 2.5%. How do I change that to a decimal?
0.025.
2 to the left. 0.025 times. How long will she need to leave her money in the bank to earn 500? T. Ooh, how do I do this problem?
Put random numbers until you get the right year.
Pick random years.
No.
Multiply the things I can. 2,000 times 0.025. What is $2,000 times 0.025? 50 times T. Okay, this is fine. All right. Then what? How do I get T alone? I want to know time. Divide by 50 BS. Oh my gosh, you guys. What's the answer?
10 years.
Yeah, guess what? The used car that she wants to buy after 10 years is over and she's done saving.
It's gonna be gone.
That car, yeah, will it be made anymore? Will she even want it anymore? Like, this is ridiculous. You would never want to do this. Okay.
Corvette.
What about, guys, right here we have a second part. How long for $1,000 in interest? So that means this. 1,000. Yeah, I think that you guys need to
That's double.
use the information. It's double.
Yeah, so it's just 20 years.
20 years?
Wow.
How lame.
Wow. That's a
You guys, start saving now. In 20 years, you'll get to buy a 2015 car. So, moving on. A local bank is advertising that you can double your money in 8 years if you invest with them. Okay? You're like, wow. In 8 years, my money will double. Suppose you have $1,000 to invest. I'm going to leave it there for 8 years. What is my interest rate that the bank would be offering? So fill in what you know. Here's the formula. I equals P times R times T. Do I know the money that okay. Suppose you have $1,000 to invest and they tell me that I'm going to double my money. How much is $1,000 doubled? $2,000. So that means that I am going to make $2,000 from my 8 years. Time is 8. Put an 8 underneath time. I don't know the interest rate. Keep it R. Okay. How much money did I put in? 1,000. Okay. I'm going to leave it in there for 8 years, and then my $1,000 is going to become $2,000. Be careful. What do I put for I? Be careful. Think about it. How much money will the bank give me after 8 years? So what'd you say? The bank's going to give me 1,000. They're going to double. I gave them a grand, and then they're going to give me 1,000, which means it's doubled, 2,000. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's why I said be careful. So you're not going to write the word 2000 anywhere in this math problem. They're giving you $1,000. That's how your money is going to get doubled. Okay? Do what you can. Like do 1,000 times 8 on the right side. 8,000 R. Now how do I get R alone? Divide by $8,000. Can someone on their calculator do 1,000 divided by 8,000? It's going to be a decimal. Huh? 0.125? That's a decimal. How do I change that to a percentage? To the right. Score! The bank is going to give me 12.5%, but I got to give it to them for 8 years. Chances are, you guys, that they're going to make a lot more than $1,000 when they keep my money for 8 years. That's how they afford to pay for their pretty building. That's how they afford to pay for their employees. Because they make more money off your money than they give back to you. Does that make sense? They make more money off of your money they invest your money into different, whatever, the stock market here, there, mutual funds, whatever. They don't give you everything they make from you. They got to pay their employees, and they got to pay the salaries, and they got to pay for the lighting bill inside the branch. Get it? Security guard who maybe helps, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. Okay. That's money, guys. Understanding what's happening with your money when you give it to a bank is so important, because stupid people will give money to their bank and then just ignore it. I was stupid when I was 23. My grandmother gave me $500 with Morgan Stanley. It was this company that did like stock markets. So there was no online stock market. I don't think it was 2003. I think it was 98. I was really like young. Anyways, so I completely forget about the $500. We go, we write this check, we give it to this Brea store, Morgan Stanley, and they invested my $500. I completely forgot about it. Really, completely forgot. And I went back in like 2006 or 7 or 8, and I'm like, hey, like a long time ago, I invested $500, and I just wanted to know, like, where is it? Can I cash it out? And they're like, oh, it's gone because there were so many fees throughout the years that there's no money now. So I was stupid. I lost $500. I lost my grandmother's $500 that she gave me as a gift, which was like a big present for a grandma to give a grandkid, right? And then I just didn't pay attention to it, and I forgot. And I didn't notice that there's fees I'm supposed to be calculating and stuff. Like, they take out money every year, and it just got lower and lower and lower, and 8, 9 years later, there was nothing. Don't be stupid. Don't be Mrs. Grant. Okay? All right, is that whole thing recording? Huh?
Get a student.
Maybe somebody from Morgan Stanley will hear this video.
That's why you get a student. Come first.
Well, no, I mean, I was over 18, so I should have been smart enough to be paying attention to this money. It really is my own fault.
I know. I'm still my
No one to blame but myself. But yeah, when I was a little, high school, whatever, I had a joint account with my parents, but I didn't do anything. So now we're talking about distance. So that's the end of money. We could talk about money. There's so many topics that I bet you guys want to know and have questions, because we just talked about good interest. Bad interest is like buying a car and stuff like that. So we didn't even talk about that. Distance equals rate times time. How fast I go for how long determines how many miles I can travel. So if I'm doing exactly what the speed limit sign says, like let's say it's 60 miles per hour. Now it's 65, right? But that sign means that in 1 hour I will go 65 miles, or in 1 hour I will go 60 miles, so it's just like miles per hour. Whatever your odometer says on your car, and you stick with that for 60 minutes and you drive for an hour, you will be that many miles away from your original. Here we go. You need to know rate means like miles per hour. Always, rate means miles per hour. Rate, MPH. Time is always going to be in hour format. D is always going to be the distance, and that's usually miles. We talk about miles because we live in America, and miles is our preferred choice of measurement for traveling. Okay, an airplane travels 2,000 miles. Okay, what's that? My D or my R or my T? D, 2,000. In 5 hours. Is that my R or is that my T? I don't know R. Find the airplane speed. Okay. 2,000 equals something times 5. How do I solve this math problem?
Divide BS.
BS. How many times is 5 going to 2 grand? Or 2,000 miles? 400? 400, the plane is flying 400 miles per hour. And then it did 3,200 miles in 8 hours. Okay? I don't know rate. Divide by 8. Haha, that rhymes. 400. Oh, you could say that this is a constant measure. The function is linear because no matter how many hours, the plane still flies 400. It maintains its speed. Okay? Next example. Try it with your group. I'm going to press pause. Try it with your group. Talk about it. The speed limit is 75. Is the car traveling within the speed limit? No, they're breaking the law. You always have to answer the question. Half of you might forget to address the question, are they traveling within the speed limit? Okay. All right, moving on. Everybody take a stand break. Stand up. A little bit of an explanation first. There are certain jobs in this world, and there's quite a few, where the company has you selling something that they make, right? And so when you're a really good salesman, you make more money because you're talented at it, and the company wants to reward you for being so good, so they give you extra money. Currently, there's places around town that do that, like when you sell a lot, you get extra money. Like it's as simple as Nordstrom. When you sell a lot of clothes, shoes, whatever, they give you extra money. Like, hey, good job, keep it up. Let's say I decided to go sell mufflers. So I drove around to AutoZones and Pep Boys and everybody, or O'Reilly, and I said, hey, my mufflers from this company are the best, and I want you to stock these in your store. Okay, so I would get money for every time that I do, a sale, right? Okay, so here we go. Andrea is a sales representative for a cosmetic company. She sells makeup. She is paid $5.15 per hour each week plus a commission. So this word commission is that thing I was just talking about, the extra money that you make for doing a good job. Okay? And then you wonder, well, how do they know how much commission to give me? How do they know how much money to give me? Well, they'll figure out how much money did you sell, and then they'll do a percentage of it. So Nordstrom might do, if I sold, $4,000 of clothes in the month of October, then they might give me like 5% of that $4,000 in my paycheck. So I make money for doing a good job being a sales person. Okay, and if I'm really bad at sales, then I don't make money at all. Okay? So she's paid $5.15 per week plus a commission of 10% on the sales over $5,000. She works 40 hours in 1 week and sells $7,000 worth of cosmetics. I'm stopping right here for right now. Let's do this math. She works 40 hours at her hourly rate. She is going to get her current job, her hours times her $5.15. How many hours did she work this week? 40 times $5.15. Then, anytime she sells over $5,000, she makes 10%. So that's cool. Okay, we have two things here we need to calculate. Her 40-hour work week, and we also need to calculate her sales. So tell me, someone on their calculator, what is 40 times $5.15?
The 206.
Okay, her paycheck is going to be $206 that week. That's low. Okay? Now, anything over $5,000. Look in the math problem. Where does it tell us how much she sold in makeup?
7,260.
Right here. She sold $7,000. As soon as she sells over $5,000, she starts making commission, extra money. How much over $5,000 did she make? How much over? $2,260, and that is what we call commissionable. Because the company will then multiply that $2,260 times her, what percentage is she making? 10%, the other red circle. So this is a really complicated thing to figure out. Because you're going to make your money just for showing up, $5.15. And you're going to work 40 hours. That's a typical work week. But then she busted her butt and she sold a lot. So as soon as she gets over $5,000, she's going to start making extra money towards her paycheck. So we're calculating that as well. $2,260, guys. I'm going to multiply $2,260 times 10%. Not $7,260. It's only the amount over $5,000. What is it? What? 26. $20, no. 226. So now let's change the colors so that we're all solid. She made $206 for her hourly, and then her commissionable money, $226. That's for 1 week. You add those monies together. What is the total that Andrea made for this week? $432 is in her paycheck. Did she make more money on her hourly, or did she make more money on her sales? On her sales. Andrea must be really good at what she does. Okay? Some people are good salespeople. Some people are not good salespeople. All right? So, if you think that you can sell a chocolate ice cream cone to a woman in white gloves, then you should be a salesman. Get it? Chocolate ice cream cone to a woman in white gloves? That would be like a hard sell, right? Okay. So, what I wanted to do is just go through the basics of this problem. Because once it starts here, purple, she has been offered another job. Okay? Right now, this other job, we would go through the same process. She works 40 hours, $5 an hour, but she only gets 4% on her sales. Total sales. So it's a different type of thing here. Okay? So, the first job, she has to sell $5,000 and then she starts making commission. This new job, starting in purple, her total sales, 4% on everything. That'd be like $7,260 times 4%. Okay, so right now what I just want you to do is I just want you to focus on learning how to do this problem, okay? I'm not going to have you do the second part in purple. Go to the next one, okay? And we're almost wrapping it up. Alex has a new job as a computer programmer. He will begin his new job with a base salary. After each year of work, he will receive an increase in pay. That's great. He will begin his second year with a salary of $26,200. And his fourth year, let's figure this out. His second year, he's going to make $26,200. His fourth year, he's going to make $27,000. I need to know what year 1 is, and I need to know what year 3 is. How would I do that? How would I figure out the red year 1? Like, what did he even start with? How do I figure out year 3? If this were your job, what would you do? You got to figure out how much money you're going to make. What would you do? And you can't give up because this is your livelihood we're talking about. This is how you're going to pay your bills. So there is no like, I don't feel like doing this math problem. It's your paycheck. It's what? 400 what? How'd you get that? From what?
It goes up 800, half of 800.
Oh, this one went up 800?
Yes.
So can we safely assume that every year that goes up 400? Okay, let's do that math. Year 1, subtract 400. What was it?
25,800.
Year 3, why don't you add 400 to 26,600 or 26,200? I just said the answer. I'm lame. Okay. Part B, what is his starting salary? We just figured it out. We're using rate of change to figure this out. Okay? $400 each year. Okay, function notation to represent the given situation. That's where we're ending at. F of x equals my starting salary plus how much I'm going to make per year. My starting salary, $25,800, plus how much I'm going to make per year. How do I know what this increase is? No, 800's every 2 years, guys. 400, and I'll put like, well, X, because if I put X here, every year I make a $400 raise.
I want that job.
Yeah. You get offered a good job if you have skills. Whatever your skills are, you do what you love. You find a job in something that makes you happy. All right, guys? Super important. Woo! So the next task for you is that attached paper.
It's recording.
It's okay. So there are 7 problems, and I'm making sure Can you guys cross out number 2 on your worksheet?